When I think about energy equity, I think first about my parents. I think about my mom and the apartment we lived in when I was in high school. It was above an uninsulated garage, and the only heat was a propane wall heater. Because we were living on a single mom's budget, and because propane is an expensive fuel, our thermostat was set to 55 degrees overnight. It wasn't that bad when we were under blankets and sleeping, but as soon as my sister and I got up, we'd go right to the wall heater where we'd huddle up together as close as possible and eat our cereal in our jackets. The pipes in the bathroom froze multiple times, and of course the landlord would blame us for not keeping the heat high enough. But it was also her garage and pipes that weren't insulated. I think about my dad, who after having 2 heart attacks, quadruple bypass surgery, unable to work for health reasons, no income, soon to be bankrupt from medical debt, he couldn't afford rent, so he lived in a tent on the backside of a flea market in Clarendon, Vermont. He managed all right most of that summer, but as it turned to fall, as it is now, and would get chilly at night, he'd plug a space heater into the outlet by the utility shed, ran an extension cord into the tent, trying to make sure to keep it far enough away from the sides of the tent and our sleeping bags so they wouldn't melt. Or later, when he had a home of his own, but still couldn't afford to fill 120-gallon propane tanks, so he'd connect what he could afford. Small 25-gallon tanks, sometimes 8-gallon tanks, those that are meant for grills. I remember how, as a self-employed handyman, he couldn't afford to live anywhere near the people he did jobs for in Norwich, Thetford, Hanover, and so he commuted from Topsom, where he could afford, in Waits River Village, logging tens of thousands of miles, expensive miles, on his old pickup truck. When I was growing up, I learned that it is expensive to be poor. That is especially true when it comes to energy. Low-income people pay more for heating fuels. They often can't come up with the money to pre-buy, which means they miss out on bulk purchasing, pre-season discounts, and then are having to pay the spot price when it's at the very highest right in the middle of winter. Or that when all you can afford are the cheapest, oldest used cars, large unexpected repair bills quickly take out any savings you've been able to put away, which is usually not much if you're living paycheck to paycheck. I'm always going to remember these experiences. They are a really large part of what motivates my deep commitment to this work. But I'm fortunate that right now they are memories for me. My wife and I are lucky to both have full-time jobs with good salaries at the moment. We're grateful to live with our son in a well-insulated home that we keep warm with affordable local wood pellets and heat pumps powered by affordable low-carbon electricity. I get around in an EV that I pay only $200 a month for and charge at home for the equivalent of only $1 a gallon. That's the kind of savings, the kind of peace of mind that I hope for hundreds of thousands of Vermonters. But for many Vermonters, challenges like those my family faced when I was growing up, they are still very real, and a more affordable, comfortable, fossil-free future seems kind of distant. There are still many single moms like my mom was, and kids living in uninsulated apartments, reliant on high-cost propane or fuel oil systems or resistant spaceport electric heat. Still many people struggling with medical or other debt like my dad was, unable to afford adequate housing. Just maybe one surprise car repair bill away from some really difficult decisions. Those are our neighbors, our friends, our family, fellow Vermonters for whom the turning of the season right now brings not just maybe the anticipation of the holiday season, but real stress about how they're going to be able to afford to stay warm over the next 6 months, wondering if their car will make it through the next inspection. That is why things like expanded weatherization and transitioning off of fossil fuels for heating and transportation are so important. We have a massive opportunity to help Vermonters save money, be more comfortable, and have better health in their homes. Homes that are weatherized, warm, and fossil-free, and to be able to get around with clean, reliable, and affordable transportation options. To me, energy equity means that all Vermonters deserve that basic standard of living, that no matter what your income is, what zip code you live in or were born in, or what your race is, none of us should have to worry about how we're going to stay warm or get where we need to go.